Walter Overcourt here. You're welcome indeed to the Irish at Home and Abroad TV show. Now don't forget, later on in the programme we're going over to Manchester to join Martin Logan, who's out and about once again with the Irish community in the UK. But this week we're here to meet a man who's celebrating 50 years in the entertainment business. He's a singer, he's a musician, a broadcaster, a TV presenter and a story writer. And this is his story. Now this man spent many years in England. In fact, he was born in Birmingham, but it's only recently he came back to live here in Callow in Foxford. So here goes.
Hello Henry.
Oh, Michael, how are you?
Very good.
Nice to see you. Good to see you. Fabulous place here. Some studio, I'll tell you. Look at all the photographs, all the artists. Some collection of music, Michael.
Oh, indeed.
Lots of memorabilia.
Well,
yeah.
put it all together.
Oh, fabulous. It was a great show. Johnny McAvoy, Dolores Kane.
That's right. That was
Fabulous night. Yeah, Jim Stewart. Yeah.
What a night that was.
Some McFlavin, Dermot Hegarty.
That's right.
All the showman greats are here. And all back here as well. Margot. Andy Cooney. I see Mandy was behind the desk. Max Barnes, right, songwriter. Yeah.
He's very involved.
Of Manchester, that's right, yeah. Michael, as I mentioned coming in, you have a fabulous setup here. How did this all come about?
Well, it's a long story, but well, I'll cut it short. When I came back to Ireland 15 years ago now, I got involved with local radio and learned a fair bit, not only from the presenting point of view, but about how the stations operated and the technical side. And eventually I decided to set up my own studio. I got involved and interested in internet radio, and so I set up this studio, and around that time I had an invitation from Irish Country Music Radio to join their network of presenters around the world, and so I took that opportunity, and that was 7 years ago, and I'm still here. I'm doing 12 to 15 hours a week broadcasting, spread over 4 shows from here, and I go out right around the world.
Yeah. And what's your audience base? Where's most of your audience?
In the UK, USA and Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I have listeners in Spain, Brazil. I've had requests from Russia and from the Middle East, and from the Far East as well.
And is it all Irish music that they're looking for?
I play the whole spectrum of Irish music, country and Irish, ballads, folk, traditional music, showband music, and not only am I playing Irish music created in Ireland, but I have on my programs I have a diaspora dimension, where I'm playing the music of Irish artists based in the UK and in America, and yeah, it's a broad church of music, I would say.
And your own programme is called The Green Fields.
The Green Fields of Ireland, yes, yeah.
Now, I know as well that you have a great collection of photographs here from various artists, so a lot of them actually pop into the studio here.
They do, yeah.
Interview with you.
Yeah, I have regular visitors here. I've had people from Nashville here, and from the UK, and if they've time when they're on tour, they drop in to see me, and if I happen to be doing a live show at the time, I'll sit them down and we'll I'll maybe build part of the show around them.
Yeah, because you keep an eye on the time in the different zones.
I do. I have my
Sydney, America, and
that's
Irish
right.
time.
I have my clock wall, where on the left-hand side I have the time in New York and Boston. In the middle I have Ireland, and then over on the right I have Sydney. And I have to keep an eye on the clocks because when I'm on air, and I love live radio, I get lots and lots of requests coming in from around the world, and it's quite interesting. At times I might have requests from people, say in North America, who are getting up in the morning And at the same time, I'll have requests from people in Australia, New Zealand, Tasmania, who are going to bed. So I have to make sure that the requests that come from the southern hemisphere, that I play them quickly, because sometimes people are waiting to go to bed.
Yeah. Now, we just go back in time now. You're celebrating 50 years in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
Michael. You started off. In fact, it's a very funny story. When you were at school, they actually excused you from the choir because you told you couldn't sing.
That's right. I was about 10 or 11 at the time. I was at the national school, the primary school, and we were singing hymns in the class, and I couldn't hit the high notes. So I brought a note to the teacher from my mother one day, and I got excused from singing after that.
Well, we have, of course, you were very popular in the Irish Club in Birmingham.
Yeah, that was.
You played there. That was your kind
I
of.
did, yes. Did a lot of dances there.
We have a lovely film clip of you going back to the 1970s.
That's
with
right.
The Black Velvet Man.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
here you are performing on stage in the Irish Club in Birmingham. This will take you down memory lane.
It will indeed.
So that's a nice bit of nostalgia there.
Yeah.
Taking you back in time. That band lasted, as you mentioned, a good few
Over
years.
20 years.
Yeah.
But towards the end of that period, the scene was starting to die a little bit. Clubs were closing down, and it wasn't easy to keep a three-piece band on the road busy the whole weekend. And so I dropped down to a duo. And well, it went further than that. I eventually was back doing the solo act. And at that time then made a decision to move back to Mayo. And
That was after about 35 years, wasn't it?
that's right, yeah. A few years before I moved back here, I was always interested in Irish heritage and culture and the legends of Ireland, and so I did a little bit of research, and I wrote stories about station houses and rambling houses, station masses and rambling houses, and when I moved back I kept up the writing, and I was sending stories regularly to magazines like Ireland's Eye, Ireland's Own. In fact, I got on the cover of Ireland's Own on one occasion. I think there's a song called that. And there was another magazine, the Hibernian. I was also having stories published in papers in England, the Irish Post and the Irish World, and there was another paper circulating in the Midlands of England called the Harp. And I had something like 100 stories published in those periodicals. And
Actually, we have one of your published stories here in the Ireland's Own about the North Wall in Dublin.
the Island's Eye.
Ireland's
Yes.
Eye, yes.
Yes, it was. I happened to go to Dublin for a meeting a couple of years ago, and I was staying overnight. So I stayed in a hotel in the financial centre in Dublin, which, as you know, is in that area near the North Wall. So I took a walk that evening down to the North Wall and had a look, and it was totally changed from what I remember it as, because as a youngster, myself and my siblings, we were brought back on the annual summer holidays, the annual pilgrimage to see the grandparents, and we would get the boat from Liverpool to Dublin. It was an overnight crossing, and the boat would come into the North Wall. I think I've achieved most of what I set out to achieve. I've recorded, I've released records, and I've played in a variety of venues. I've made a lot of friends over the years, and if it never progressed beyond this into some new arena of Irish music, I'm perfectly happy. But I have to say, my radio work now is very important to me, and the way I can connect with people around the world, and I get a lot of satisfaction from that.
You have a big event taking place, as they say, just down the road tonight.
That's right, in one of my local towns here, Swinford. We're having a 50th anniversary celebration dance, and we're looking forward to a great night. And I'll be joined on stage by artists who have become my friends over the years. I have Trevor Moyles, I have Jason Travers, I have Carmel McLaughlin, I have Bernie Heaney, I have Tom and Kathleen Moore and the Duets, and myself.
Lovely. So it should be a wonderful night.
That's right.
And we're all looking forward to it. We wish you the very best of luck, Michael, and continued success in the entertainment business.
Thank you, Henry.
Well, we've just arrived here at the Gateway Hotel in Swinford for Michael's big celebration dance. He's inside doing his sound check, and we thought it'd be nice and appropriate to take a commercial break at this time. So join us in part 2 for some great music and dancing. Fortune Stock, you're very welcome to the Irish at Home and Abroad TV show. And we've arrived here at the Gateway Hotel in Swinford, where all the action will be taking place. I'm joined now by Tommy and Kathleen of the Duets, a very, very popular duo indeed. When did you first come across Micheal Fox?
I suppose it's 10 years ago now, or I suppose it's days since he was with Midwest Radio, and he probably rang me looking for a CD or something like that, and that's how the relationship started. So we're
you kind of play the same circle, don't you?
We do. I suppose, yeah, playing the same kind of circle for the past few years. So that's how we got to know him, and buddies since. And anything new we've out, Michael always ringing looking for it. So yeah.
Now you've your own big launch coming up in a week or two's time.
We have. It's tomorrow week, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm nearly forgetting.
Yeah, the 2nd of February.
2nd of February. Yeah. We're going for a local one. I suppose we have this is our 5th album, and we didn't kind of do anything local, so we went for a local one this time. And with the title of the album too, of course, Home to Illinois, a song written by Joe McShane on it. So that's why we're going for the local one. We're going to hopefully we'll have a good night, you know.
You're beginning to have a great following in England. I know it takes time to build up a circle in the UK, but you've certainly clicked in there now, haven't you?
Yeah, I suppose it's taken us maybe 3 or 4 years to get around, and it's now, I suppose, in the last year and even this year coming, it seems to have clicked in, and I have people ringing me looking for dates, and me instead of us looking for them for dates. But it's good. England is good for us at the minute, you know. Yeah.
So are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's always good to have a night like this, because a lot of the boys is on the road like ourselves. We never get a chance to meet unless it's a night like tonight.
Exactly.
You know, and it's great to have a bit of banter with them and the crack. I'm sure that's what it's all about, and we'll have a good one. Want to wish Michael all the best. I said to him tonight, I said when we'll retire, he can carry on for another 50. So.
You've a long way to go yet, Kat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, Michael, we have a long way to go. But I want to wish Michael all the best, and hope that, of course, we'll have a great night. We will.
Gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to my very special occasion here tonight. I'm celebrating 50 years in the Irish country music business. And when people look at me and say very graciously, you don't look that age, you're around that long, I say, I was in very short trousers when I started. But it's great to see you all here. I hope we're going to have a great night. I know we will. And we've got a great lineup of artists for you as well. And what I'd like to do now is just to introduce and ask you to welcome on stage Michael Neary from Midwest Radio, who's going to be our compere for the evening.
Thank you very much, Michael. As I said the other day on the radio, this fellow was 6.5 when he started, so that explains 50 years. Now, you won't hear a lot from me because we have a load of artists to get through. It's going to be a great night. Dance if you want to at any stage, there's absolutely no problem.
Jason, you're very welcome to Swinford for this big celebration tonight. What was your first encounter with Micheal Fox?
It would have been through radio and interviews I'd done over the years with him when we started off first with the Jason Travers band. And down through the years throughout the social dance, and he often contacted me and say, well, you have such a song out and love to get you on the radio. And he was always contacting me. I didn't have to go racing him, which I thought was very kind for a DJ.
And how's business in general, Jason?
It's going mighty, yeah. Social dance is going great. There's new venues opening up all the time, and they're trying their best to keep them going. The last 3 years now, well, 4 years we're at it now. We're just getting the gist of it now, you know, really. It takes about 2 or 3 years to get into these venues. And yeah, we're getting great reports.
And are you working solo?
Duo, we have a duo, but we're also joining in a new girl into the team now. She's going to start off with us next month, Jenna Sloan. She has her own single group, or single thing that she does in country clubs and pubs all over the place. So she used to sing with a show band legend, Trevor Dixon, one time, and Billy McFarland. She's from Newry in County Down, so she's going to join us now in the team. Looking forward to doing that next month, hopefully.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to sing you the old Jim Reeves song. I used to be railroad.
Bernie, you and Michael go back quite a while to the days in England.
We do. I used to collect glasses in the Coventry in the Finbars, and Michael was with Black Velvet Band. So we go back a long, long way. Too many years to mention, but I remember Black Velvet Band well, and I remember thinking he was brilliant back then. So it's a privilege to be here. 50 years on the road, what an achievement. Yes, I've known Michael years and years.
And looking forward to performing tonight?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There's a good lineup and there's a great crowd. So yeah, really looking forward to it tonight. Absolutely delighted.
You have a lot of things happening in your music career at the moment.
Yeah, I have. I have a TV show. It's on 6 o'clock every week, every Monday night on 398 Keep Country. I'm with the Honky Tonk Angels, of course, and we're heading off to it's a Caribbean cruise actually with Gertie Burns. So we're heading to that. We're going to Scotland for Paddy's weekend, so that's great. We're heading to Denmark. So yeah, busy, kept busy. Keeps me out of trouble.
Canada down to Mexico, from Southern Cal to Minnesota, and the water's cold.
Congratulations to my good friend Michael here, and I'm so glad, Michael, to be here to celebrate with you tonight, and health for many, many more years.
I'm absolutely thrilled for Michael. More than myself, he's singing quite a while, and he deserves everything. And see the great crowd that's here tonight, he deserves it all.
Yeah. And of course you would have bumped into him on the music circuit over the years.
Oh, I would, of course. I've known Michael for many, many years, and he's round on the pub circuit the same as myself, and doing very, very well, very well.
Now, how's business with you overall, Carol? I know you've had some great success on the record front recently.
I have 3 albums, and I'm working on a 4th, and I'm very busy, I have to say, thank God.
Trevor, you know Michael for quite a number of years now.
I surely do, Henry. He's a gentleman, a lovely man to work with, and a nice man overall. Is Michael. He's sound.
You played with him on a number of occasions, haven't you?
Yes, I surely have, yeah. Michael is great like myself for going around and doing charity concerts, and we do meet up over the year at several different events, and we do always have a great old chat, myself and Michael.
He's a great man, as well as performing, he's also a great man for promoting other artists through radio, and did he give them encouragement from his years of experience?
Certainly, yeah. That's one thing about Michael. He'll always get the locals in, he'll give them the radio interview or whatever, bring them in, have a chat with them, and you know, it gets them involved in the scene locally, and great for helping new artists with the recordings and the whole works that goes with being a new artist on the scene, you know, for years.
Well, you come from a very musical family yourself, Trevor, with your brothers.
Yes,
things going well for you at the moment?
Yeah, it's great. Now, obviously I haven't done that much recording of the last couple of years since I had the band on the road, but now I'm out doing my own thing now, doing a bit of the social dancing, a couple of pub gigs, functions, whatever. And now I'm back in doing a couple of more videos and that for some of the older songs that I had recorded a few years ago, we'll say. And some new stuff as well now.
Yeah, is it difficult to come across new material?
Well,
to suit you, like?
I suppose it is. Like there's always tons of material, but just to hit on that one that you'll be remembered for, I suppose. You know, that people will say that's Trevor Miles' song, or that's George Miles' or Jason Miles' song. Bit of promotion for the lads there.
And you're always fighting for the next song when you get it first.
Oh yeah, well definitely. Strangely enough, that never comes up actually. We all have very individual tastes, even though it's all country, but we all have very, very different tastes as to what we think would work and what doesn't work, you know.
And do you ever think there'd be a time when the three of you would go on the road together?
As soon as Henry puts the show together and puts a ton of money behind us, we're off out on the road.
Well, if I win the lotto, I'll definitely go along with that.
No problem, Henry.
Have a great night tonight.
Thank you, Henry. Best of luck to Micheal for the future, and congratulations on his 50th year in the music business.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you enjoying yourselves? I'd like to thank you all again for coming along and making this night special for me. Let's see on the floor dancing now. This one is called My Golden Queen.
So don't forget now, coming up after the break, we'll be crossing over to Manchester to join Martin Logan, who's out and about with the Irish community all across the UK. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and don't forget, join us again next week at the same time. So until then, Ihawa agus Gadei Ship Salon.